Content on CajunClassicCarsTV.com is brought to you by Vicari Auction. Sell a car or buy your dream car at the spring or fall auction of Vicari Auction. And Goodwood Hardware and Outdoors at 7539 Jefferson Highway in Baton Rouge. And our newest sponsor, Cajun Hot Rodding Collision at 410 Joseph Street in Baldwin. Custom paint and body, restorations, and insurance company claims. Welcome to Cajun Hot Rodding Collision to the Cajun Classic Cars TV family. Welcome back to another edition of Cajun Classic Cars TV, the second in our series in Forest Hill with Jerriot of Cruisin Southern Style. All right, we talked about your truck on a previous episode. What are we looking at today?
All right, this is Norma. This is my 1955 Chevy Belair, two-door sedan, but we call her Norma Jean. And it's basically, it's a car that I've had about 10 years. I've done a ton of work to, but yeah, this is it. Whenever you're a little kid and everybody says, "What's your dream car?" I was like a 1955 Chevy, and I'm still a big kid, but this is it. I'm fortunate enough to have my dream car. This is what I've always wanted.
I tell you what, a Chevy is one of those cars that, like you said, when we were kids, if anybody had a T-shirt of an old car, this was the car.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And being a kid, remembering movies like, American Graffiti and Two-Lane Blacktop and all those other movies and stuff like that with all the cool cars. Man, I just always wanted something. The Hollywood Nights with the Project X57. I just always wanted something like that. So yeah, like I say, I'm just a grown big kid now. It hasn't much changed.
Well, we're glad about that because I am a big kid here on the Cajun Classic Cars TV website to tell you about Norma in just a little bit. Brought to you by Vicari Auction and also our good friends at Goodwood Hardware and Outdoors.
Your cars are the stars. Cajun Classic Cars TV.
Prescription for travel. It's the new Motoramic Chevrolet. More than a new car, a new concept of low-cost motoring. A revolutionary new ride. Only the new Chevrolet has new Glide Ride front suspension that absorbs road shocks. And new anti-dive braking control for heads-up stops. New power with the new Chevrolet valve and head Turbo Fire V8 engine and two new Blue Flame 6s. New touchdown overdrive gives greater driving flexibility and far greater gas savings. And new show car styling lets you travel proudly in the new Motoramic Chevrolet.
It's great to be back in Forest Hill talking with Jerriot. If you missed episode 53, check out his 1966 Chevy C10 pickup truck. We'll give you bonus clips at the end of this episode where we find out about Jerriot's first love of cars and also about Cruisin Southern Style, the car club that raises thousands of dollars each year for St. Jude.
Like I say, she's just sweet. She's been lowered. She's on all ride tech suspension. It has shockwaves on all four corners. It is mini tubbed in the back, running a 20 by 12 inch wheel with a 315 tire on the back. On the front, it's an 18 inch by 7, I believe, or 7.5 inch wheel on the front, but they're coys, chrome plated. I like the coys, man. A little bit of Windex and the chrome, and you just clean them right up. I'm getting too old to polish, but yeah, it's got a good stance, sits down real low. In Louisiana, you can't be like that all the time because our roads just don't allow for that. So with the air ride, you can raise it up to a drivable height and drive it down the road. It's got a small block 383, ATK 383 crate engine with Vitec fuel injection and a 700R with a lockup converter. You can get this car on the road and run 80, 85 and keep up with traffic or blow them off the road if you want to. This car, it'll go down the interstate. Great. Like I say, she's just a sweet car. The interior, we did. It has a company out of Arizona. They specialize in Tri-5 and Impala interiors. It's called Siedella's. So the interior and all come from Siedella's. And let's see, it has custom or retro sound, AM, FM radio with Bluetooth and all that. So it looks like an old radio, but it's still, modern Bluetooth. You can listen to your favorite stuff going down the road. AC, heat. Yeah, like I said, my goal was it to look like GM should have done it. So it is just very, very nice and clean and neat. The AC lines and all will run in up underneath the fender. The AC dryer and all is hidden underneath the fender. It's got a Performance Riding custom radiator. It's got a CVF front runner system on it. That's an ATK 383, 450 horse 383. It has Phytech fuel injection, and the valve covers are really unique. The trim, and I had this idea, and I took it to Joel at Nobody, and he bought the smooth valve covers, but the script in these cars were painted on there. If you remember the old 283 to 265, it was hand painted. Well, I wanted it 3-dimension. So that's actually the script. If you would have bought like a 150, a 55 150, it would have been on the fender instead of the spear. Well, that's the script that's on the valve covers there. He put them on there and painted them black. Like I say, just nice and neat. It's got Willwood 4-wheel disc brakes. It's a good running, good driving car. You can get out on the road and it'll get out the way. You're not being passed by a Honda Civics. It'll keep up with traffic. And and I've had a few hot rods, and I was like, man, I won't ever have another one without overdrive and without air conditioning. So this car has them both. You want to get inside?
Let's do it. Well, now that we're inside, tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, well, like I told you earlier, the radio is retro sound, so it has all the modern technology and all of a modern radio, but it still fits the factory dash, so factory dash hadn't been cut up. My other 55 that I had, we'd changed out the gauges, and I really wanted to keep the factory gauges in here. I don't know why, they just fit the car. So we left the factory gauges, and what we did is, if you have a classic car, there's 2 gauges that you really, really need. Oil pressure and water temperature. So we put them right here. So they're modern gauges. So, you can see them, and they're a lot more accurate than the dummy gauge, you would have had on the factory cluster. And I really like this old Sun Tack. I always thought it was cool. It was on the car whenever I got it, and I just wanted to leave it there. And now the steering wheel is a smaller version. I think this is the 15-inch version versus the 17-inch version is what they would have come with. And we did that. Like I say, the seats are Sidella interior. That's the air ride controls. We did the kick panel speakers, AC. I mean, it's like I told you before, it's all the comforts that you need and no distractions.
Clock not working?
Clock has never worked.
That's an old car for you.
Yeah, and I think they actually make them now. I don't ever even think about it. It don't bother me none. I just don't worry about it.
And of course, I think it's a law. Every old car from the 50s has to have fuzzy dice.
You got to. I mean, that's just if it's not a law, it ought to be. You got to have some fuzzy dice, and they're turquoise. I mean, how often do you see turquoise fuzzy dice? I don't know if I've ever seen another pair.
And you have got a very impressive interior. Seats and headliner, everything's just nice and clean and tight.
Well, I wanted it to look like a 55 Chevy. I didn't want to do, now there's always part of me that just wants to go crazy. You see some of these builds and they're just so nice, but this car is just nice and neat. We recovered the seats. The only difference is this is convertible style seating because I just want to be able to wipe it down, where a sedan would have had cloth seat covers, and this car had cloth seat covers when I got it, and they were stained and they looked terrible. So whenever we recovered the seats, we put a convertible style, so it's just vinyl. So you just wipe them off. It's just easy maintenance.
All right, you mentioned air ride a little bit. Can we see it raised or anything like that? What do we need to do here?
Absolutely. We got to start it up. It'll prime up. All right. It's all the way down. We go to 2. It's going to be ride height. No self-respecting grandpa would not have a matching pedal car for his granddaughter. So I bought this right after she was born. Well, I think for her first birthday, I bought Marilyn this, and then of course I had James Mott paint my granddaughter's name on the trunk so it matches the.
She's not spoiled at all.
Oh no, not at all, not at all. And then this is my other pedal car. I say my pedal car. This is my. I'll pull it out here. This is a buddy of mine down in Vatry, Louisiana. Paints one of these every year for the Cruisin Southern Style car show auction. His name is Dale Ockman, and he's just got tons of talent. Well, and we bid on this year at the auction, and it got up a little bit more than I could afford to pay. And I tell you what good people we have come to our show. And once he got out of my price range, a friend of mine ended up buying it and turned around and he gave it back to my granddaughter. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So yep, both of those are the grandkids. They come here. That one, the 55, has got about 1 million miles on it. My granddaughter has rode that thing around here so many times. But yeah, I mean, got to start them young. You get them into cars. They can't afford drugs.
All right. So, Jerriot, tell us a little bit of the story. How did you acquire Norma?
Okay, well, Norma is my second 55 Belair. The first one I had it for about 10 years, did a lot of work to it, and life happens. Things come up. I needed the money more than I needed the car. So I sold the car, and I had seller's remorse so bad after I sold that car. A few years went by, and I actually had another car. I had an 06 GTO that I'd done some work on, and I sold that car, and I bought this one. I really wanted another 55 Belair, and this in the same color and all as the first one. And this car, we actually pushed it off a trailer. My wife thought I was crazy. I sold a running, driving, very nice car and bought one that I pushed off of a trailer, But yeah, I've had this car for about 10 years and done a lot of work to it. There's not much on it that hadn't been touched. But this is Norma. That's my girl. That's my dream car.
Well, the way it looks right now, it looks like you've had the last laugh as far as pushing it off, man, and you achieved a great goal for sure.
Yeah, it's gone through a few different stages. The last stage was we sent it up to Nobody Customs in Shreveport, because what I wanted done was above my skill level. And that's when we did all the ride tech suspension, and they mini tubbed it and all in the back. And I was very adamant. I wanted it to look like it came that way. I didn't want to raise the trunk and look like two barrels in the trunk the way you see a lot of them done. So you look in the trunk on this car, and it looks like, if you didn't know, you wouldn't know. It looks like it came that way. It looks like the factory tubs, and it all really looks good. They cleaned up the firewall, welded up all the holes, rerouted the wires and all in the engine bay. We got rid of all the chrome and the polish and all in the engine bay. A lot of people, and I used to be there, they wanted you to raise that hood. They wanted it to look like, shining diamond. And, the last, transformation it went through, I was like, I want it to look like GM should have done it. So everything under the hood is painted red or black. I didn't want to go back with Chevrolet orange because I just didn't think it would look good. So I went with a satin red. The engine and all is satin red, but everything is it's painted and it's nice and neat and it's clean. It's very sanitary and really turned out exactly the way I wanted it. This car, because it has the air ride, we couldn't run the exhaust. I really wanted the tips to go out the back. I love those Belair tips. You know, they were power pack tips. Whenever you bought this car, if it would have come from the factory with a V8, it would have had those tips. They were called power pack. So I really wanted to keep those tips. So the exhaust on this car is actually run under the rear end instead of over it. So with the air ride, you got enough room, you can lay it down or you can pick it up, whatever you need to do. It's pretty neat. I've seen a few done like that since, but up until then, I've never seen another one done like that.
What kind of mileage you getting on it?
Oh man, you don't build a car like this for gas mileage. It probably gets somewhere around 15 miles or so, maybe, I'm guessing. I've never really tracked it. It doesn't have a huge fuel tank, you know, but yeah, it's not great, but it's not, you know, it's not a Honda Prius either. It's got great brakes. I'm going to do this same brake system on my truck. It's got 4-piston on the front. I know a lot of people do the 6-piston, but I'll never autocross this car or race this car or anything like that. And the 4-piston on the front, just single piston on the back, but it'll stop on a dime and give you change. So yeah, it's got great brakes.
As always, it's a pleasure being in your garage here in Forest Hill, Louisiana, and thanks for telling us about Norma.
You're welcome. Anytime you want to come hang out with us, we can always hang out and talk about cars. That subject just never got old with me.
Thanks so much, and I want to thank you for watching. Hey, before we go, let's put in a plug for your business. You got a little business that we want to talk about.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, we got a little small mom and pop business here in Forest Hill, Louisiana. It's called Hot Rod Graphics, where we do screen print, embroidery, vinyl graphics. We do sublimation. We do laser engraving. But yeah, if you got any T-shirt, company shirts, whatever, embroidery, hats, whatever, we can handle that right here in Forest Hill, Louisiana.
All right. For Hot Rod Graphics, Jerriot, how do they get in touch with you?
HotRodGraphics.com. You can find us on social and like I said, I think we do Instagram and we do Facebook, but HotRodGraphics.com, GRAFFIX.
Yeah, Cruisin Southern Style. I'm very fortunate to be part of that organization. But we do a car show in Marksville, Louisiana. We've been doing it 19 years. This next year will be 20 years. We've raised almost $1 million for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. It's one of the largest car shows in the state, and definitely largest one in Central Louisiana, with over 700 classic cars and trucks and hot rods. And it's a lot of fun. We raise a lot of money for a good cause, and I'm very fortunate to be part of that organization.
Yeah, and 2025 was incredible. What was the final count for cars?
We ended up donating $170,000 to St. Jude's.
Is it amazing? And when you and I had talked about the pre-show interview, a car show of the week, about it prior to the show, well, you talked about how it kind of lingered in the 100 car level for each show for quite a while, and all of a sudden it blew up, and now you guys are getting registrants up to well over 700 cars.
Yeah, it's amazing what this show has turned into. We are so blessed. I mean, there are so many good people. I've made so many great relationships because of this show. And you're right, over the last 8 years, 10 years, it has just blown up. For years. I mean, our first show had like 30 cars. And then for years, we hung right around that 100-car range or so, And, man, whenever we broke 300 cars, it was a huge show. If we could ever duplicate, keep doing that. And now what it's grown to is just, I would have never dreamed it would have grown to what it's grown to. But it's definitely turned into an amazing event.
I can tell you what, your show has really helped my channel a lot. Really with the friends and the contacts I've made and relationships that I've made best friends because of Cruisin Southern Style.
Oh, we have too. I mean, people from all over come to this show, and like I say, we've made some great relationships, and it's just been a blessing, and it's a blessing to be a blessing, to be able to take a hobby that, we all spend way too much time, way too much money on, and turn it into something that actually benefits others. It's just, it's just an honor and a blessing to be part of that. So yeah, it's turned out to be a great event.
Tell everybody the website if they want to research it. I've never had a chance to do it.
All right, the website is cruisinsouthernsstylela.com. You can find us on social media at Cruisin Southern Style. We do Instagram and we do Facebook. But you can find us there, and any questions, just message us or whatever, and we'll be glad to answer them. We're always a weekend before Thanksgiving at the Paragon in Marksville, Louisiana.
So, Jerriot, tell us a little bit about your love of cars. How did it get started, man?
Oh, I don't know if I've ever not loved cars. I mean, whenever I was a little bitty kid, I would buy the model cars and put them together, and Hot Wheels and die-cast cars. And I guess I hadn't grown out of it because I still love the Hot Wheels and die-cast cars. I've got a pretty decent collection. But, yeah, I don't know if I've ever not been a car nut. I've always loved them, always had dream cars, and, fortunate enough to have a couple of them that I've dreamed about, all this time.
Is there a favorite car, not counting what you've got right now in your garage, that you wish you wouldn't have gotten rid of, or it was one that just brings back the best memories or anything like that?
Well, I mean, the first classic I had was a 1955 Belair, and I had that car for about 10 years, and I sold it, and I had seller's remorse so bad that it took me a few years, but I ended up buying another one, and that's Norma. And, I'll never, I've been offered good money for Norma, probably more than what she's worth, and I won't sell it. I've always, when I was a little kid, I dreamed of having a 55 Chevy. When people talk about their dream car, talk about Lamborghinis, Ferraris, whatever. I mean, mine was a 55 Chevy. And, I've got that one. I let the first one go. I'm not going to let that one there go, so.
Yeah, there ought to be psychiatrists or psychologists, therapists, just to help guys with remorse of buying or selling a car.
Oh, I've had several that I've sold and regret selling them. I've had square body C10s, and that was a good truck, and it's still a good truck. Guy's got it, and he's done a lot of work to it. Still a nice truck. One of the favorite ones that I sold, I actually sold it to buy this 55, but I had an 06 GTO, and I think what kind of made that car cool to me is it looked like a Chevy Cavalier, but we had it had a LS2, and we put a Magnuson supercharger on it. It made 600, right at 640 horsepower at the rear wheels, and back then that was a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was a lot. Now you can go buy one off the showroom floor that's making that. I've had I've had several that I've sold and wish I wouldn't have sold them. So I think I'm going to keep the two I've got now, at least for a while.
You said going to the showroom and get that kind of horsepower. Remember, we used to have to work our rear ends off to try to get more and more horsepower. It was constantly tuning something, constantly doing something with a rear end or a front end and the motor. And like you said, now you can just go, I want that much horsepower, and go find it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Whenever we were kids, if you talk about a 10-second car, it would be so radical you couldn't drive it.
Yeah.
And now, I had a Camaro ZL1, and, the thing was so fast, it almost was to the point where it wasn't fun because there's nowhere around here you could drive it that way.
Yeah.
They say it's more fun to drive a slow car fast and a fast car slow. That's true. It was a nice car, but you really couldn't drive it the way it was meant to be driven. You take these cars that, like say, factory 600-700 horsepower, and the speed limit is 55, 60. They'll run 150, 160, and still wanting more. And it's not safe on into Louisiana roads. And then again, you go to jail driving it that way anyway. So
exactly, they're behind the billboard or some set of bushes to try to get you that ticket at a speed trap. And every other town in Louisiana is a speed trap. I think every town's name is French for speed trap.
Yeah. But I'm getting to the age now where I just want to cruise. I just want something. We all, as hot rodders, we all fight that urge. Let's build it bigger, build it faster. But I'm getting to the age I just want it to start whenever I turn the key, and I want it to cruise. I want to be able to run with air conditioner on and the windows up, and I just want to enjoy the drive. I don't enjoy working on them as much as I used to.